But I don't want nobody calling in telling me nothing about the goddamn marches if you wasn't out there. Divine Prospect was out there. I seen this video. He was out there. You know, and I seen Divine telling the young brothers, yo, back up, man. What is y'all doing? They getting ready to shoot tear gas in the audience. Divine is out there giving guidance, giving wisdom, giving instruction. Yo, back up, fam. You don't want to go there. Nah, don't do that. And I'm looking at all of that. Peace and black power, man. What's your name and where you calling from for the people?
What's going on, family? Divine Prospect, man. I'm out here in Atlanta, Georgia, man. What's going on, son?
All right, my man, Divine Prospect. First thing I want to ask you, brother, and Nepal asked me this. Sir. When are we getting our interview, brother? When are we getting the interview?
We're going to get it next month before I go to Dallas. So
now it's next month, brother? You said 2 weeks, man. What's going on?
No. I'm saying we're going to do it next month. Next month is next.
Yeah, my bad. Damn, I forgot. When you said next month, I'm like, yeah, my bad. You're right. But anyway, talk about it, Divine. What's happening? Shout out to Drama House Big Hen in the building. What's up?
Shout out to them, man. Shout out to the family, man. So, yo, Tom, I did recently did 2 videos, right?
Yo, you got to take me off the speaker so that people can hear you.
Okay, hold on. All right, is that better?
That's much better.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I was saying I just recently worked on 2 videos. I sent you the link for the promos for them.
Okay, I got you.
The first video I did was, we was investigating voting, right? And pretty much what I did out here in Atlanta in Fulton County, North Fulton is like where the white folk live at, and South Fulton is where most of the black folk live at. So I went to both places to where the polling station is at, where people vote. And I went there to kind of see what was going on, because I don't know if he was aware of it, but out here in Atlanta, there was a lot of issues that was happening with the new machines in the black neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? And in the white neighborhoods, everything was flowing. And, you know, a lot of times people in the black community say, oh, we shouldn't vote. But the reason why they say that is because they don't see any immediate change, because we don't know how to vote tactically. So this voting tactics that's employed by various ethnic groups in order to get things done, and our community is unaware what those voting tactics are. So in that video, not only did I interview the white folk in the white community, right, and the black folk in the black community, I also was looking to see, well, why is it more effective, voting is more effective in the white community than the black community? The first thing is, in the black community, there's always issues with the machines. There's always some degree of incompetency in running the polling stations, and that could be done by design. Some people think it's done purposely, right? The second thing is, in the white community, they do what's called absentee voting, which means they get everything ready in advance so they don't have to physically show up. In our community, we don't practice absentee voting. We're typically the ones showing up physically waiting online. And when things happen, guess what? After an hour, 2 hours, we leave, we walk away. But one thing that was happening was the black people that would live in affluent communities, they were going to South Fulton to encourage their other brothers and sisters down there to stay on the line, giving them food, giving them water, giving them encouragement, support. All of that is in the video. It's dynamic what our people will do in order to support this voting endeavor, because these differences make it on a local level. See, people keep focusing on the federal level, but on a local level. So I told people, listen, how many of y'all doing ballot initiatives? A ballot initiative is when you're able to put something on the ballot for people to vote on. You can do that. How about how many of y'all doing recall elections where you can get a petition signed to get somebody out of office? You can do that at any time. How many of us do have a political action committees where we're the ones that's in charge of raising the funds to push our causes and push certain candidates in office? How many of us in our communities are running town hall meetings where we're pressing candidates to answer all our critical questions before they say they represent us? How many of us getting financial disclosures where you can request to see where all the funding is going for a candidate's campaign and see whether or not it's beneficial to your community or adverse to your community? We're not doing any of these things because we're not aware. A voting bloc is going to collectively come together and say, look, what we're going to do is, as a collective, not an individual, we're going to pull our votes together and we're going to push it towards the candidate that we want or somebody we put in office for a particular cause that's going to cause change in our community. This is what all other ethnic groups do. We don't do that. And I think it's because of the lack of education in regards to the political and voting process that we don't get involved as we should. But that video that I did, I explained all of that to the family so we know how to effectively make our vote count.
All right. Thank you, my brother Divine. What's going on, man? Everything good with you?
Yeah, everything good with
When
me,
is
man.
your next trip? When is
Juneteenth,
your
we had
next trip to Harlem, brother?
I'll be there this summer.
Hey, let me ask you,
I'll
while
let
you
you
in
know,
Atlanta, how's things going on in Atlanta as far as the corona stuff? Because Harlem is opening back up. The movie theaters getting ready to open up next month, you know, and next month is right next week. So we back on track. How's things out there in Atlanta?
Right. But y'all kind of late because we've been open now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so how's the corona?
How's the corona? So I mean, the corona cases is still consistent, right? So things were declining until they started reopening, and things went back up to how it was before the state opened. So right now they're trying to keep it at a plateau before they roll everything else out. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of things are being blamed now on two things. Number one is the protesting, where you have groups of people that are coming together, rallies like the thing that Trump just did recently, you know what I'm saying? And then you have the youth who are going out to the beaches, and they're having public events where they're in a crowded space outside and indoors, and they're saying that this is proliferating the virus. You know what I'm saying? So if you look at it, Georgia's still one of those hot states, but Florida, south of us, is the worst because a lot of people from outside the state are coming there for the beaches. And it's through the beaches that's the vector to transport it elsewhere in the state. You know what I'm saying? So there's still precautionary measures in place, and a lot of places require masks. Like here in Atlanta, you're not required to walk out yourself, your house with a mask, but in New York, I know y'all do. But then there's some like establishments where you have to wear a mask before you go in, you have to wear gloves, etc. So they're trying to stabilize it, but it's not as bad as other states like Florida, south of here. And the last thing I want to say is that on Juneteenth out here in Atlanta, we had a huge march. I don't know if you was aware of it, where they marched to the Capitol, and they stayed there at the Capitol. They pressed every politician, senator, whoever that was there, and then from there they marched back to Centennial Park. So I have another small documentary that I just recently released. Of us marching there to the Capitol, coming back, and then I interview everybody there to find out what's the next step. Like after you're done protesting, what's the next step? Because if you don't have a purpose, and with that purpose create a plan, the protesting is just to advertise that plan and speak against the adverse effects that society is doing against your community. And once that talking is done, you must execute that plan. But the one thing I will say, which a lot of people are not aware of, and I'll let you, and I'll go, is that the reason why things work this time, people say, oh, we protested in the 60s, and we protested before that. But here's the difference. Two main reasons why this worked. Number one is because of coronavirus. People talking all crazy about coronavirus, but guess what? They shut the concerts down. They shut the movie theaters down. They shut sports down. They shut any place for congregation like bars down. And even movies and, TV shows have been delayed. So now all the normal distractions that would be in the minds of our people, because we're 100% consumers, a small portion of us are producers, have been removed. And now when we see these incidences happen with Ahmaud Arbery, these incidents happen with Breonna Taylor, these incidents happening with George Floyd, we were faced to confront the racism that was always blatant in front of us, but it's because of distractions and the smoke and mirrors that we didn't see it. And because of coronavirus, we were locked down and stay at home and shelter in place. And because of that, we were forced to confront the demons that was always prevalent in our society, and most Black people were trying to ignore it. And it's because of those things being removed, now we were forced front and center to confront it head on. And through that, because of social media, there was a solidarity between various states to do things in concert. And now when society is seeing that Black people are rising up and working together, now mind you, there's Asian provocateurs that is causing riots and things like that. But for the most part, because we were consistent and persistent in marching, because most of the people out there, guess what, lost their jobs. They had time on their hands. So they had the opportunity to go out there and do that. Everything created the perfect storm for protesting to be effective at this point, but it cannot stop there. And in those videos, you guys will see the rest of the plan that I lay out, so that way we could be 100% successful moving forward.
All right. Thank you, my brother.
I appreciate it, man.
All right.
Speak your speech, nigga. Speak your speech, nigga. Speak your speech.
All right, man. Divine Prospect in the building doing what he do. You already know what it is, man.